So it's about 6:30 in the morning. I'm headed to work. I'm running a little late. But I just thought I would make this video just to talk about how you can't chase your losses. Gambling. You have to cut your losses. Well, I guess you don't have to do anything. Anybody can do whatever they want. I guess the only certain thing in life is really death and low-key taxes. But for the most part, if you're having a problem with an addiction or gambling, it usually just gambling. I can't think, if you're having an alcohol or drug problem, you're not really trying to chase back anything. Maybe lost time, but it's not like you're going to double down your money for that. So specifically, we're going to talk gambling here. There's been so many times where I've tried to just get my money back after losing it, whether it's the next day or the next week. Now, this is day 2 of not gambling. And last night, I did want to go. I did really want to go. And I talked to my friend who also has a problem gambling. And he told me he lost about $4,000 yesterday. So that kind of made me feel like, okay, it's just going to be another loss. And sometimes, you do go back to try to chase your money, and you do win it all back. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not possible, but I don't recommend it. It's not recommended. This is a red light camera. I'm going to slow down. I don't know if it's 30, it's 35 speed limit, but if you're going 28, 29, 31, whatever, you're not getting that ticket. Drive the speed limit. Anyways, you can't double down. You'll probably not get even. You're more than likely to get even worse. And when you're already in a hole financially, or not where you want to be, let's say you're not even in a hole, you're just not where you want to be, you wish you had more. Because most people, I feel like, wish they had more. At least most people I know, It's hard to try to be happy sometimes with what you have. Sometimes we all need to look at what we have and try to reshape our perspective and just be thankful for what we do have. But it's hard when you've had more and you've lost some of that, and now you have even less. So I am thankful for what I have and all that, but sometimes I am a little ungrateful and wish I had more. Today I'm just trying to reshape my perspective and say, hey, I'm thankful I have, a good job, a good running car, and I even have a couple bucks left over, and I have my health. My knees are shit. I do have some, I do have some problems and all that. Everybody has their own problems, but it can always be worse, right? But then sometimes you think, oh, it could be better, but you got to try to change your perspective. I have to try to change my perspective. It's tough. There's a lot of distractions in life. There's a lot of sadness in life, but there's also a lot of good. I really think life is about your people and the ones that you're close to. Because if you had all the money in the world and no one to share it with, I don't think there would be a point in that. Even if you had the nicest house in the world and all the food you can eat, but it was just you, that would get pretty boring and pretty lonely. I feel like also I gamble a lot, and a lot of people gamble because they lack this thing called excitement or a stimulant. Gambling stimulates me. When I have money on that table or in that machine, or if you have money on that parlay, riding online, whatever, the rush it gives you, the anticipation, once you place the bet, when you're waiting for the bet, and before you know if your bet wins or loses, you're feeling something. I'm trying to ask myself, why do I even gamble? Why does anyone even gamble? And of course, people want to win money. That's really a huge part of it, obviously. But I feel like even deeper than that, people gamble because they just want to feel something, this feeling of excitement, this feeling of happiness. And I've saved my money multiple times in my life and have been in the gym and have eaten healthy. And I feel like just something's missing. And that's why I always go back to the gambling. And once I'm gambling, I'm just so fucking excited. And if I lose, I've taken so many losses. Sometimes you don't even feel the loss. So you have to bet bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you have either regrets or just massive wins and massive joy. So whenever you're winning massive amounts of money, of course you're going to be happy. Of course you're going to be stimulated. But even before you lose, you sweating it and stressing out. Sometimes, I won't lie, I like the feeling of that. I like the feeling of, holy shit, I've got $1,000 riding on this fucking roulette hand, red or black. I've bet over $1,300 on a hand of roulette before and won. I've also bet probably about the same and I've lost it. And I've also doubled down and lost again, back to back. So whenever I try to get even, I usually get even worse. So I wouldn't recommend chasing the losses. I'm trying not to chase my losses. And if somehow you can mentally or even on paper add up all the money you've lost, whether it's this month, last year, your entire gambling career, your entire life, whatever. If you can calculate how much you've lost, I firmly believe you would never be able to win it back, no matter how much you bet. And even if for some fucking miracle you did, you're not going to be able to just walk away and say, oh my God, I got all my money back. I'm good. It's time to leave. Because you got to chase that feeling again of, holy shit, I could be rich, or holy shit, I got a lot of excitement going on here. You know, going and saving money and working out and getting fit and eating healthy and, you know, living responsibly isn't really the most fun. That's why most people don't do it. If you really look around, unless you're some really successful person with a lot of successful friends, and I would say I have some successful friends for sure, but even then, I don't feel like they're fully fulfilled. They're not fully happy. You know, people do all kinds of things and stupid shit other than gambling to try to be fulfilled and make themselves happy. I've seen so many people I know get into the relationships with wrong people or move to different areas across the country or go into a career or whatever because they think it's going to make them happy, or buying this house and going into massive debt thinking it's going to make them happy, or having a baby thinking it's going to make them happy. I know plenty of people who've gotten married or bought property or, you know, had a kid or had a relationship or, you know, made some investments or got a degree in this or that, and they're just not fucking happy. Now, people have all kinds of ways to cope with their sadness. Probably the best one is professional therapy, but that's just something I myself and a lot of people are not willing to do. Whether you know you have a problem or not, a lot of people aren't willing to go that route. And I'm not going to say it's not a good route to go, but for some people, you know, like me, I don't feel like that would be a good route. I think the best thing is to go to the gym hardcore every fucking day, releasing all those negative bits of energy and all that stress. I think it's really good for you. I think everybody should work out regardless of your weight, your age, what area you live in. I think people really should try to be in the best shape they can be in. When I'm in the best shape I'm in, that does make me a little bit happy for sure, but I get bored. I'm not going to recommend changing lanes with your leg, but I'm doing it right here. Shout out Red Bull, keeping me awake so I can take good care of these people and save lives. Now anyway, let's get back to it. You can't try to get back what you've won when you've already lost so much. And in the mind of a gambler, You never want to think, oh, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose my money. There's always a little bit of you that thinks, I can win it back. And you know it. I always say to myself, you know what, I probably won't win, but I might do it. In my last video, I accidentally said that I make 10 grand a week. I just want to clarify, I do not make 10 grand per week. I make a little over 10 grand after taxes per month. I just want to also throw that out there. Something I thought about, because we keep it real over here. We're not making up numbers and shit. Now, I will be at work in about 20 minutes, but I do have a phone call with a friend in approximately 10. So to wrap things up shortly, I'm just going to say, if you want to get your money back that you've lost, more than likely, you're not going to. You have to accept it. You have to try to move forward in a different way. You have to create a different plan. You have to change your mindset. Try to be thankful for what you have. Don't try to get even. It'll probably get even worse. And also, try to figure out how much you've lost and ask yourself, could you really win that back? And more than likely, the answer will be no. And also remember, even if you do win it back, you're probably not going to walk away. It's hard to accept losses in life. People don't want to accept failure, and you shouldn't. But for some things like gambling, I think it's okay to give up. Other than that, I don't think you should give up on pretty much anything. Maybe there's a couple things, if something's really killing you that you're doing, you should give that up. But for the most part, if you really want something and it's something positive, fucking work your ass off and go try to get it. I'm here not giving up. I'm making this YouTube channel. I think 30 people watched my video. I was very surprised, even that many. I don't know how many will watch this one, but I think it's just cool that I'm maybe helping people realize that they can achieve their goals. They can get out of the hole. They can quit their addictions. They can quit gambling. They can try to be more positive. They can do better. I can do better. I could change my mindset. After I get off work today, I work about 10 to 12 hours, Monday through Thursday, and I usually pick up an overtime shift or two. We're going to get over lanes real quick. Anyway, after I get off work, I'm definitely going to go to the gym. I have a whole workout routine plan. I'm locking in. September's about to end. It's the 28th or 29th. And I've only got 2 days left of September. I've got all of October, November, and December. And that's what I'm locking in for. I'm going to have to text my boss here in a bit, tell her I'm running late. When you are a stellar employee and you fucking handle business, you can run a little bit late sometimes. But always let people know you're running late and keep it real. Keep people in the loop. Be honest with yourself. Do you really think you're gonna win that money back? I don't even fucking know you. Maybe I do, but I probably fucking don't. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not fucking happening. You're not gonna win that fucking money back. You gotta come up with a new plan. You gotta get a second job, a different job, or maintain your job, try to make a budget, get a side hustle or something. Anything other than gambling. Because ask yourself, what's gonna fucking happen if you go and double down and fucking lose again? You're going to feel twice as shitty. You're going to be twice in the fucking hole. You're going to be twice as fucked. You might already be fucked. But remember, it can always be worse. It can always be worse. Even if you're dying on your fucking deathbed, technically, I guess it could be worse. Because you could be dead. We're all slowly killing ourselves inside with something. Whether it's vaping, drinking, doing drugs, in toxic relationships, eating shitty food, not taking care of yourself, spending money. You know what? I know someone, she just blows her money on shopping and shit. I have a couple friends, they just buy all these jewelry. Bullshit. People spend their money on bullshit. Get the fuck over! I'm cutting off this Prius. Okay, maybe I'm not, but I'm getting behind this Prius. Now, you should always drive responsibly. I'm recording on my phone for the greater good, but I do not recommend it. Follow the traffic laws, please. Do not take my bad behavior and make it okay. Now we're almost at work. Now I gotta work all day. When I'm working, I'm not thinking about gambling. Try to occupy yourself with something positive. If you're busy, you're less likely to have time for bullshit. The busier you are and the less time you have, the less time you have to gamble. The more money and more progress you make, you might be less likely to gamble. But sometimes it's also like a refuel for that addiction. You know, whenever I'm doing well and I'm saving money and I'm fucking fit and I'm, super happy, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing great. You know what also sounds great? Gambling. Because no one ever says, you know what sounds great? Fucking up my life today, taking a big loss, having regrets. And that's usually what comes with gambling. But people don't want to admit that. People want to think that they're gonna win this money, or they're gonna hit it big, or they're gonna feel that fucking feeling of the win. Because nobody really likes that feeling of the loss. I've heard before that people are addicted to the feeling of the loss, not the feeling of the win. But I disagree, because if you lost every time and you never won at gambling, no one would want to be like, oh, well, let me do that again. It's just because you got that win one time or 2 times or 25 times or whatever. That's what keeps you going. You're chasing that feeling of victory, the feeling of happiness or whatever, excitement or adrenaline. Like I was talking about in my last video, I like to play that game with the pigs and get those mansions. There's this thing called the mansion feature. If you play that game, Huff and Puff for the slots, there's this thing called the mansion feature. And I've gotten it probably 6 times and I've won thousands of dollars. I've bet $100 before on a number. My favorite number is 36. I've bet $100 on 36 before when I've been down to my last $100, and I've hit that 36, and I've gotten $3,500, or I've gotten paid from that mansion feature. But if I really think about it, out of the thousands of times, maybe hundreds, I'll say hundreds, but I really think it's over 1,000. Maybe not in the thousands. It's over 1,000 though. But doesn't matter. Out of the many fucking times I've made those big bets, only a little percentage have I actually fucking hit and been successful and gotten that jackpot or that big number and big hit. Most of the time you fucking lose. Don't you fucking do it. Don't you fucking do it! Drive carefully, please. Now, most of the time you gamble, are you really winning? Because honestly, I think I'm winning more than half the time. I think I win more than half the time. I'm winning something. But then I give it all back, so it's like you lose. Even if you win, you fucking lose. My friend who lost that $4,000 yesterday, he was up $2,000. And then he fucking lost it all. And then more. There's been so many times I've won money, and then I fucking lost it, and then lost more. Don't chase your losses. You'll probably be regretful. Some things you gotta give up on. I would just recommend giving up on anything that's not benefiting you in your life. I think chasing the losses is not worth it. And we get those urges. I honestly, I would love to go to the casino right now. But that's the fucking problem. Usually I've learned the things in life that are fun, dangerous, or exciting and bad for you are the things that give us adrenaline, give us that feeling. But being disciplined and doing the right thing and, saving your money and working out and eating healthy and not doing any stupid shit, that doesn't give you that feeling of excitement. It's boring. And that's why most people aren't fucking winning. That's why most people aren't doing well. That's why most people are broke, or they have problems, or they have some kind of stress or addiction or whatever. It's because they're not disciplined. The more disciplined you are, the more likely you are to be successful. Now, with success, it doesn't happen over fucking night, at least for, the average person. It takes time. Doing the same thing, being disciplined over and over. And that's not exciting. That's why most people don't do it. They break, they crack. They say, well, fuck, what fun is this? I want to have some fun. They go out drinking or partying or gambling or whatever. Even having, protected sex. Like, being responsible is like having protected sex. Men don't like condoms. It doesn't feel great. But it's responsible. Prevents STDs, prevents pregnancies, prevents maybe heartbreaks and things that weren't supposed to happen. See, gambling is like doing it raw, Feels fucking great. But then you end up with that loss or that STD, or you lose your money and then you owe taxes on top of it or something. You get that accidental pregnancy. I don't fucking know. Maybe that's a bad example or a bad analogy. We're going to get off on this exit because the traffic's fucked near my work. But yeah, sum it all up. Don't try to get even. You'll probably get even worse. Make a new fucking plan. Try to fight your urges. Try to work out. Try to be disciplined. It's going to be boring. It's not going to be exciting. But if you really want to make it, that's what you got to do. That's what I got to do. And how bad do you really want it? You got to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Are you tired of waking up with less money than you should have? Less happiness you should have. More stress than you should have. More problems than you should have. I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of it. Today is day 2 of not gambling. I don't know how many days I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it a permanent thing and never hit the casino again. I'm not sure if I will or not. I got to be honest with myself. But right now, we're trying to make it at least 90 days. If I can make it at least 90 days, I'll have 25 grand and all my debts paid. And that's a lot more than the average person. Maybe if you're watching this, you might only have $25, $2,500, or even if you have 25 million fucking dollars, it doesn't matter. You got to have something saved so you can sleep good at night and pay your bills and have money for emergencies or a steak dinner out. I think everybody should have enough money to where they shouldn't be stressed. But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. Most people are going to be broke and have financial problems. But you don't have to be one of them if you're disciplined and you make good choices. Now, that is hard as fuck to do. But anything that's worth it in life is hard and requires hard work. If it was easy to get rich or have a six-pack, everybody would fucking do it. Everybody would just have one. What point would that be? To have just what everybody else has. Everybody's striving to be different and have what other people don't have and be unique. People want to be rich. People want to be fit. People want to be happy. Most people are not rich, fit, and happy, or any of those. So, just try to be disciplined. Maybe what I said doesn't make any fucking sense, but at least you can agree with me. If you lost a lot of money, going back and trying to double down and bet it all to win it back is probably not a good fucking idea. Have a good day.